Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another Pokemon 2 CAS creation. This time around, we are going to be doing Grimmsnarl into a sim. So if you're not as familiar with Pokemon, if you're someone who is more into the sim side, and you just wanted to see a create sim, Grimmsnarl, there should be a picture of him down in the bottom left corner. And that is how he looks, but he is a Pokemon from the Generation 8, which is the newest generation, Sword and Shield. He is a fairy dark type Pokemon. I realize I don't mention their typing almost in any of these videos, which I'm going to try to get better at for those of you who are not as familiar with the Pokemon. Because I know with this series of videos, there's a chance that I could get people who only know and like Sims over Pokemon, or people who only know and like Pokemon over Sims, and then the people like me who likes both. So, but yeah, he is a dark fairy type, and the reason why he is male, I actually have a legit reason, sometimes I don't, but for him, you can only get Grimmsnarl as a male. There is no female version of Grimmsnarl in the whole evolution line. I am forgetting the two evolution names before him, and I know they are imp-looking like things, and that's the whole point of it. And you find them in the fairy region. The funny thing with Grimmsnarl is the fact that you find him in the same area where Hatterene is, which is a big reason why I wanted to do Grimmsnarl, because the fact that I made Hatterene, I really wanted to make Grimmsnarl, because there's like a bunch of cute fan art of them two together, and I love it, because Hatterene can only be female, and Grimmsnarl can only be male, and you find them in the same area. So, anyway, but yeah, so I was like, I have to do Grimmsnarl for that reason. Hatterene was one of my favorites in Gen 8, and Grimmsnarl actually happens to be one of my boyfriends. Like, I don't remember how far up there, but he definitely did really like Grimmsnarl. And I find that sort of funny and fitting. But, so, I made him, but I'm not gonna lie, I was looking, like, going into this, I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do to make this sim. This was, like, I have some Pokemon that I'm, like, absolutely looking forward to. I have some that I'm in between, and I have some that I'm not looking forward to. Not so much because of the Pokemon itself, just trying to transfer that Pokemon into a sim style is a little daunting sometimes, and that was one of these cases. I was like, how am I going to make Grimmsnarl into a sim that looks cool and decent and everything? Because I want my sims to look good. Quotation marks. And, you know, look somewhat realistic. Obviously, with some of them, I start to strain further away from that than others, because I use skin tones that are not as realistic, but just randomly, it comes times when I get to a certain Pokemon that I'm like, I just absolutely have to go for this unrealistic skin tone. But usually I try to go for some realistic ones. With Grimmsnarl, I went in not knowing what skin tone it was. I sort of just played around with it and decided which skin tone looked best with some of the features that I started doing. So that is the only reason why I chose the skin tone for him. I did know that I wanted to stay away from some of the really pale skin tones, because with a lot of the Pokemon, they have those pale colors on them, so that makes me lean more towards the pale skin tones, just because they already have those pale tones on their as a color of them. So I just, like, that's how I make sense. Sometimes that's how I determine, like, if they have a color on them that is like a skin tone, I'll try to get close to that. Obviously, not all Pokemon have that option. Not all of them have a color anywhere close to a skin tone. And Grimmsnarl is one of those cases. Other than that, he is more of a darker tinted. But yeah, I got tired of using the lighter skin tone, so that was another reason why I tried to stay towards more medium to dark skin tones. But yeah, I just basically played around and decided which one looked the best with how I was doing things. But with Grimmsnarl, with his look, that purplish blue that you are seeing all around most of his body is actually hair. It is hair that is made to be like muscles. It's tough and things like muscles. That's how it's sort of described, is similar to muscles, but it is hair. It is 100% hair. So that reasoning also made me want to make sure that I gave him a longer hair for this sim. Now, I have longer hair CC options, but those are strictly, well, strictly for females, sort of, you can technically click that box, that masculine box off, and they will appear for your male Sims. But a lot of those longer hairs that are made for females tend to clip on males, especially more muscular males, which I made Grimmsnarl pretty muscular, so I knew that they were going to clip, so I just didn't bother for the most part. But this hair I thought looked really good on him, and it had a pretty close color that it is black, but it's got that bluish purplish tint almost to the hair, so that's why I chose that hair, and I thought it looked really good with him. And I added him tattoos and body hair. Now, the body hair I almost forgot I had, but it's not as noticeable enough for me to be for me to be like, oh yeah, let me just put the body hair on to try to represent more of Grimmsnarl's hairy appearance, covered from head to toe, so on forth. That's why I also gave him this very strange looking tattoo. In a way, it's just basically a bunch of squiggly lines. I don't know if that tattoo eventually makes a pattern of some sort, but for him it fit, because it just, from a distance especially, it just looks like it may be more hair, or like a lot of thickness of hair to some degree. So I thought it really fit, and it was also very strange looking, and he's a fairy dark type, so overall I thought it was a really good fit. I gave him longer ears. I did try to originally, because those ears without hair looked a little strange on him, so I did try to play around with the ears, but ultimately decided to go with these big gigantic ears. And by the time I put the hair on it, I was like, oh, this actually really fits. And he has really large ears, but it just didn't look right on the sim at first until I put the hair on. Once I put the hair on, it looked great. So I was like, okay, that's fine, that's good. And I gave him some green accessories because of the fact that he has green around his face and on his ears and on his tummy and on his feet. So I did try to tie in some of the green, that pinkish, hot pinkish color that he has inside the ears and like on his chest area. I tried to make the necklace be as close to that color as possible. So that is like how this sim was formed. And even though I wasn't going in looking forward to the sim, and I didn't know how the sim was going to turn out, I actually love how he turned out, and he's definitely up there with some of my favorites. And I hope you really like how he turned out as well. If so, please hit that lovely like button. Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell so that you don't miss future Pokemon to CAS videos. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!